Alright everyone, welcome back to part 2. This is looking quite nice so far, I think. Tell me what you think so far. I will kind of maybe bring out some of the bricks here and there as they come closer to us. But first, let's just do this lovely figure with the umbrella. That's my next job. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to just dampen a pointy brush first. Take a little bit of black, alright? Tiny bit of black. Now, I've been gone for about an hour or two. I've been gone for about 2 hours. This has started to kind of set in and dry slightly, so it's good. First of all, I am going to start with a point. I'm going to pick a point for the bottom, where the shoes, okay? Then I am going to pick a point for where the head meets the umbrella, or thereabouts. So let's go about here, okay? Put another point there. Then the top of the umbrella, I'm going to go about here. All right? Now, with those points, let's simply sketch in first the outline of the umbrella. I'm just kind of glancing at the reference photograph now, just very kind of loosely, you know what I mean? A little bit there. I'm going to come to about here, I think. Go up at an angle, so this is the center. Well, it'll be slightly off center, won't it? The center of the umbrella. It'll be around here. Comes kind of straight across slightly, then it turns like that. Then it comes again the same here. It takes a dip, and then it turns like that. So I'm going to go with that. Now, we can make this bigger if we feel we need to. This might be a little bit high, but that's okay. That's absolutely fine. Look, I'm going to now maybe do a sketch of the person. So look, let's start at the feet. I'm going to simply go like this, okay? And I'm going to go like this, like that. The bottom of the jacket, about here, okay? This, again, this is going to be very loose kind of a sketch. Very loose. Up a little bit here. The arm comes around and down like that, doesn't it? Like so, something like that anyway. And this arm steps out up here, doesn't it? Steps out like that, comes up. You see how I'm just being very loose now with all of this. And then there's a bit of a collar up on top, but let's not worry about that. Then a bit of a head. Now, how does that look? I don't think it looks too bad. I might go slightly wider with the umbrella on this side. Just to make it more even. Maybe, something like that. I will put the point here. Now, I don't think that's too bad. The coat may be a little bit low down, but we can keep going with the legs, okay? We can kind of come down a bit with the legs like so. You see what I mean? It disappears into the shadow anyway. Let's get a slightly bigger brush, a nice little flat brush. And if you know me by now, if you've watched enough of my tutorials, you will know that I use a lot of flats. I don't use very many round brushes. Let's go right into black, thick black paint. Come on. I think that looks okay. Let's just paint this in first and we'll see then. Maybe little thinners. And let's just simply paint this in like so. We can finish the detailed part around the edges with the pointy brush when we're finished. I'm just going to use the bigger brush to fill this in. And we get some nice pointy edges then with the pointy brush in a moment. Now, again, let's sit back and take a look. I think that's okay. I'm happy enough with that. I might take a touch of burnt umber as well. Fill in the umbrella. Just carefully. Nice and carefully across like that. Takes a bit of a dip like that. Look, you don't have to make this very, very complicated, okay? You don't really. Now I go back to my small pointy brush and just define some of them edges. Now, the umbrella is just, I went a bit too high with the umbrella. That's what happened. I went a bit too high. I can't fix that now because this is wet black paint, so this is going to be very difficult to fix. But what I might do is just go a little bit wider with the umbrella. Okay? That will compensate for the umbrella being too thick, so to speak. That might compensate for it. I think it will. Put a little bit of a piece here. Okay, and let's go down now and just again refine some of this area. All in all, I don't think this looks too bad. I don't think it does. A little bit of a wiggle here for the arm, and maybe bring this one out slightly and back in. Okay, that's all right. And let's go down and just again fix the legs. I will put a little bit of brightness in the middle, in between. I just want to get this nice and dark, nice and black first. It doesn't matter if there's a little bit of a whitey shade going through this here and there. That could be like natural highlights as well, couldn't it? Clean the brush, and I'm just going to, oh yeah, there's one little thing I forgot up here, look. There's little, no, I made a mistake, let's just fix that. Little piece of fabric coming down off the umbrella here. And we have a few little points. Coming off the umbrella, little tiny points. You can hardly even see them really, to be honest. So I went a bit far with those as well. We have a little bit of light on the umbrella, don't we? Let's just take a bit of white. Pop a little bit of highlight up here. Coming off either side of that center point. Like so, maybe a little bit down on this side here. And it just sort of tapers away, doesn't it? Just to give a little hint of light on the top of the umbrella. I think that's fine. A little bit on the top here. I don't see anything else. There is in between the legs a tiny little bit, just here. Tiny bit. I think that's enough. Let's move on and do the shadow. Okay, the shadow is going to be a very dark purpley color. All right, let's mix some blue. I need some magenta. I don't have any magenta left. All in all, I think the scale looks quite good. Tell me what you think. I'd like your input in all of this. Let's take some magenta, a bit of blue, and a deep, I'm going for a deep purple, okay? Not a black, a deep purple to begin with. And let's just start down here and simply bring and come across for the coat. It comes over at an angle, doesn't it? And bear in mind, it's on the cobblestone, so it's not going to be a perfectly sharp edge, if you understand what I mean. It's not going to be perfectly sharp at all. And then it kind of comes over like this and back over. Now I'll stop at that and take a look. It's not too bad, but I'm going to put a bit of maybe black and burnt umber just in here, okay? And leave it soften down. You can see the way it's much darker just towards the middle. So we'll just make it darker towards the middle and come over here just a little bit. And how's that? Now that's not bad. What I'll do then, just take my brush very quickly, take a lighter shade of that purple, maybe a bit more blue. So I'm getting a deep kind of a bluish shade. And I'm going to put some of the cobblestones in with this deep bluey shade, just as it comes down into the shadow. So tapering off like so, and softening into the shadow, that kind of a soft blue. And the same over here. A bit more white. Make these lighter as it comes over this way, over to this side. Now I'm going to just get rid of this. It's a bit too bright, isn't it? So clean my brush, take a bit of white, and just pop a little bit of white over some of that. And I can see it's very bright around the middle here, isn't it? These more solid stones. I'm going to stop and take a look. No, I don't think that's that bad. I don't think that's too bad at all. I'm going to come along here and just pop a little bit of light on one or two of them around here and there, just tapering off. And you can see it's nice and bright then, up around the middle. Most of that brightness is concentrated around the middle, isn't it? I'm just going to keep popping little bits of that in there. Lastly, I'm going to just take my pointy brush again, go right into the white, and just maybe put a couple of more solid lines with that, just around here and there. Now I will put a few dark lines in as well. Okay, now what we can do is we can kind of soften it ever so slightly into the cobblestones like this, you see. Maybe do the same on this side. So it just disappears into the roadway. Do you understand? Bring a bit more in here. The fingertip sometimes is the best tool for this. Okay, now I'll just take my pointy brush with a little bit of black, and I'm just going to maybe add a few fine lines here and there in between some of these. Just one or two. Just to suggest little cracks between the cobblestones. That's all. I don't want to go absolutely crazy with this, but it's just a very loose suggestion. That's all it is. And a couple of nice dark ones inside here. I'm literally just looking at the dark spots on the reference photograph and just popping a few random kind of here and there. It's all about your mind filling in the blanks. That's what I find with painting. So the brain will fill in all the blanks. All we're trying to do here is make a little suggestion, and the viewer's brain just fills in the blanks automatically. Okay? That's what I would that's the advice I would give to you. I don't try and paint every single detail. And there we go. Now we can just soften some of those away with a brush or a piece of tissue or a finger or whatever. Just kind of soften them back in ever so slightly if you feel they're a little bit strong. And that's it. And I'm fairly happy with that, my friends. I'm very happy, in fact. I'm going to take a bit of white and put my signature over here. And there we are. And my friends, that's it. Look, you know, if you want to continue on with this, you could. I think I might just put a little bit more foliage with the palette knife. Where is my palette? There it is. That's what I think it might benefit from a little bit more of the orangey foliage. So I might just go and put a little touch of that here and there. Just be very quick with this, you know. Don't, you don't have to try and paint everything individually. I think just a little bit of rich colour. This is going to really catch your eye, isn't it? This rich colour here. And I think that's it. I don't feel I need to keep going with this. So there we are, my friends. Now I am recording on my phone because my camera rather, lost power. So I'm recording on my phone and I hope you can see me all right. I hope so. I won't know till I watch this back if it's worked out and if a microphone hooked into my phone as well. But I've thoroughly enjoyed this. You can see now what kind of an eye-catching painting this is, even though it was quite simple. It wasn't overly complicated. I hope I made it simple enough for you to follow and for you to try even and follow me along in your own time. But you can kind of get what I was trying to achieve. You can get the feeling of it. Everything is just kind of loose and little dabs with the brush here and there. Just try and hold back. Try and hold yourself back from going into too much detail. I think that's the key. I do try to hold myself back. I never try to focus in too much on little tiny details with a pointy brush. Not too much, because you get lost in details. And then what happens is it's never enough. You have to keep going. And that's when you can overdo a painting. So I find just by putting a loose sort of a painting on the canvas and then focusing on just a few little details at the end, just here and there, a couple of lines, that I think captures a feeling. So I'm very happy with that. That's a very eye-catching painting, I think. In a frame, that will be very eye-catching. So my friends, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Let me know what you think and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel as well. Have a lovely, lovely day. Happy painting. Just give it a shot, okay? It's only paint, don't worry, it's just paint. If you make a mistake, you can rub it out with some tissue or you can let it dry and prime it again or something. You know, it's only paint. Don't be too hard on yourself if you make a mistake or if it doesn't work out. Because I've had many paintings which didn't work out. Many, many paintings which I just toss into a bin, forget about them and move on. So give yourself a bit of a pat on the back as well. Okay, don't forget to do that. Always give yourself a pat on the back because you're an artist and you're learning all the time, as are we all. Have a great day. Thank you and God bless.